Lose your way in these woods and you could be wandering for days. Yet even deep winter doesn't discourage them. Border Guard video is said to show some of the dozens of attempts still being made each day to cross from Belarus into Poland and the European Union. For the few that make it, an unpleasant welcome awaits. Indefinite detention in crowded militarized barracks with barred windows and limited access to the outside world. Less asylum seekers than prisoners and a breach of international law.
The camp is like a prison and does not represent Europe. Most of the people here came from their countries because of the pain. They shouldn't be abused a second time. It's like torture.
That was the voice of OMED HAMA, a Kurdish refugee who had hoped to reach his mother living in the UK. We first met Aland in a Polish hospital in December, in obvious distress, having been rescued in the forest.
I am staying here. I am staying here. But not go back.
He was taken away shortly afterwards by the border guards, despite pleas by human rights activist MONIKA TWORKOWSKA that he be given mental health support. Aland was detained.
He's very
upset to be in a place like that. He doesn't fully understand it. He knows that he crossed the border illegally, but he doesn't understand why he finds himself in conditions like that.
Up to 1,800 detained asylum seekers in 8 camps have launched hunger strikes and sometimes violent protests over conditions. The Polish government says this is why they're locked up in the first place. Aid agencies call it a deliberate policy of deterrence.
My name is RAMO and I want international protection in Poland.
He too ended up in detention.
This place is worse than prison because, even if you are in prison, when you get out. You can reach your lawyer easily. You can, you have access to media, to organizations that can come here. Here in this place, nobody can come here. And you don't know when your term will end.
That's the borderline over there, through that gap in the forest. On the other side, Belarus, where several hundred people remain of the few thousand that last year Belarus actively encouraged to break into Poland and the European Union. It touched off a geopolitical and humanitarian crisis that's no longer making headlines around the world, but is no less of an ordeal for those still involved.
They will surely now know that the promise both of easy entry into the EU and that it would accept them were lies. Jonah, Al Jazeera, near the Poland-Belarus border.